And that's the opening. All right. And Hurt, don't worry about it. I never do anything. I never say anything important, so you didn't miss anything. I was just saying hi. How happy I am that this week is now over. And we're gonna play a little bit of Steins Gate to wrap up the day. Oh, locked, unlocked. Okay, load. Where were we in this game? We met Amadeus Kurisu, and she has a hunch that we knew her, right? Obviously, for someone as smart and as observant she is. 11:35 and you're sort of drunk. Well, you're in for a treat. Steins Gate is, I don't know. We will see. It could be a little tripping, but I'm not so sure yet. The sun was setting earlier now that December had arrived. Nakase Katsumi, oh gosh, new person, was surprised by how quickly it gotten dark while she was out rummaging through the cosplay shops. The wheeled suitcase on the ground next to her felt heavy. She'd done her best to jam everything she bought today inside, and it was bursting at the seams. Still, spending a whole day shopping with her cosplay friends was a lot of fun. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. Her footsteps were light as she walked back to the station.
Fubuki-chan, スキップしちゃいそうだね。
Fubuki. Nakase Katsumi Fubuki. Okay. You need food but don't know what. It's late. Maybe something light? Like just a little bit of like bread or something? I don't know. I'm the kind that like I can't go to sleep full. If I'm like full, it's really hard for me to fall asleep. So I actually generally couscous. Couscous is perfect. So for me, I generally try to eat like really early, so that by the time that I go to bed, it's pretty much like digested. Fubuki-chan. Okay, gotta learn another name. Let's go.
わかる？だって今日はいっぱい買い物できて超楽しかったもん。
I smell some.
満足満足。
They mentioned Fubuki in the first game. I do remember Mayuri talking about Fubuki a lot. Not a lot, but she had mentioned her. But like we never got to meet her, and it was her cosplay friend, right? Found around 5:30 before I went out. Food not found. Oh, you have food.
Fubuki-chan のおかげでまゆしーも楽しくお買い物できたよ。付き合ってくれてありがとう。
Winter Mayuri.
まゆしーのためならお茶の子さいさいだって。
I would also do anything for Mayuri. Yes, me too. You're not alone. Fubuki tries to grab her friend, Shina Mayuri, for a hug. Mayuri dodged out of the way. She doesn't like hugs? Mayuri may have looked like an airhead, but she was actually quite athletic. Fubuki, by the way, was Nakase Katsumi's cosplay name. Oh, okay. Like Mayushi and Mayuri. Oh, Shina Mayuri, Mayushi. Never made that connection. Took me long enough. Where you live, every takeaway shop closed at 10. That's hard. Sometimes just like rummage through the cupboard and see if you can find something to eat, right? Katsumi was in her second year of high school. She and Mayuri were the same age, but were total opposites. Katsumi was boyish and athletic, and when she cosplayed as a male character, she attracted more female comical than male ones. Alright, time to read tips. Cosplay. Short for costume play. She dressed up in a costume, most often as fictional characters. People who cosplay are called cosplayers, which can be shortened to layers in Japanese. Really? Many cosplayers also make their own costumes. Kameko, short for kamera kozo, camera boy, refers to those who appear en masse at anime conventions, or wherever cosplayers frequent, and use expensive SLR single-lens reflex cameras to take pictures of scantily clad women. Low anglers, oh gosh. Cameramen who photograph female cosplayers and idols from a low angle are not considered true comical, for a true comical must be a gentleman above all else. Okay. More people. Well, technically the takeaway closes at 1, but stops delivering at 10. Yeah, I can imagine. They need like they probably don't want to pay the drivers for so late either. Komima. Alright, so friends. The 4 friends had gone to cosplay shops along Yugawaya, Otome Road, and Tokyo Hands in Ikebukuro, and then moved to Akihabara and visited several more. Oh, we are getting a lot of this today. Komima, fictional, short for Comic Giga Market, a massive otaku event held every year in August and December at Tokyo Big Site. Yugawaya, fictional, a large specialty store founded over 60 years ago that sells craft and hobby supplies, fabric, and other miscellaneous goods. There are over 60 locations all over the country, and they're located mostly in Kanto region. Otome Road, nickname of a 200-meter long street located near the east exit of Ikebukuro Station. I did not know this. Okay. The street is famous for its many stores selling female-oriented doujinshi and anime merchandise. And as a result is known far and wide as illustrious sacred place for female otaku, hence the name Otome Road, Maiden Road. Tokyo Hands, a home improvement center chain based out of Tokyo. Unlike most stores in its nature, which typically have large buildings situated outside city centers, Tokyo Hands has many department store style buildings located around major train stations instead. Tokyo Hand stores carry a wide variety of products, from professional-grade tools and materials to accessories to a whole host of other miscellaneous goods. You live in the countryside. That's nice. I actually have been thinking about moving away from the city. I didn't post my link in Ferocious. I know. This is going to be pretty short, so it's going to be a couple hours. Jupiter is fine. Jupiter is my favorite planet, so it's a-okay. This was all part of their final preparations for Winter Komima.
そうは言っても、衣装を作るのはほとんどまゆりちゃんだよ。
Oh, Kaede. I don't know which one is which. We'll figure it out. Thanks, Hurt.
あんまり無理しないでね、まゆりちゃん。
That's right, she's the one who does all the costume work for them. Kaede sounded a little worried. Her real name is Kurushima Kaede, and she used her real name as her cosplayer pseudonym. She was 3 years older than Katsumi and in college. Kaede was extremely feminine, and her measurements were just like the ones magazine models claimed to have, but she was very shy. People had tried many times to persuade her to enter the pageant at her college, and she'd always refused, saying normal events are kind of scary. But even so, cosplaying at Komima with the rest of them was something she looked forward to.
だったら、この際だからまゆりちゃんを手伝って、みんなで衣装作りはしない？
I like her voice. So why don't we all have Mayuri? Oh, okay. Amayuki proposed. She had very noble, elegant features, but the rest of her was easygoing and laid back. Though Katsumi was a fellow girl, she still thought Amayuki was beautiful. Even her light blue penetrating eyes lacked the arrogance that beautiful women usually possessed. They were filled, instead, with a friendly light. Her real name was Amane Yuki. Amane? No way. Is this Daru's future wife? What? No. She was a senior at Meiji University and in the same club as Kaede. She was the oldest of the four. She had once given up. She has once tried to give up cosplay and focus on job hunting. Just after 6 months, she had given up on work and gone back to costuming. You have no idea what I just said. It's okay. No. I was making reference to something that we learned about the characters before in a prior game. But she, I think, is the wife of our wonderful friend, Daru. Even though we've never met her, and it's not confirmed, but their daughter is named Amane Suzuha, so they share the last name. So most likely this is the mother in flesh. Job hunting, when an unemployed person is seeking employment, often used to refer to college kids looking for their first real career-oriented job. Since then, she'd been spending more time with Katsumi and the others.
そんな、お手伝いしてもらうなんて悪いよ。
I guess that makes sense. She and Suzuha has the same hair, right? Like the same color hair. Everyone smiled at her, but Mayuri quickly shook her head.
今日だって 材料代を半分以上も肩代わりしてもらっちゃったでしょ。マユシーはそれだけで本当に嬉しかったから。私たちの衣装を作ってくれるんだから出さない方が申し訳ないよ。
Why is her line muted? And you know, I've always wanted to make really neat outfits like you do.
マユシーの衣装ってクオリティ高いもんね。ほんと感謝してるんだから。
What is wrong with Yuki's voice line? What is going on? Is she not voiced? But I could have sworn that we heard her earlier. Her voice is off, so is Shina Kagari. What? Who voiced her previously? Just now. Alright. Well, she's gonna be the only English-speaking person here, I guess. You see, we really wanted to help, Mayuri-chan.
じゃあみんなで作ろう。
Katsumi knew that it made Mayuri really happy when someone praised her cosplay outfits.
でもそれとは別にね、マユシーはみんなにお願いしたいことがあったのです。お願い？実は
Mayuri told them about an event that had quickly become a mainstay of the Japanese holiday year.
クリスマスパーティーを開くから、ユキさんも楓さんもふぶきちゃんもぜひ来てほしいなって。
Oh boy.
クリスマスパーティーか。
So that's how... Okay, so that's how Yuki and Daru meet, huh?
どうかな。私行きたい行きたい行きたい。
Katsumi's only plan for Christmas Eve was dinner with her family, so she raised her hand instantly. None of her friends at school wanted to do anything that night. She'd been a little put out about that since it meant they all had boyfriends.
私も大丈夫だよ。
Kaede also nodded, but Yuki seemed a little hesitant. I don't know if I should go.
もしかして先約があるの？そりゃユキさんほどの美貌の持ち主ならイブのデートに誘ってくる男子は山ほどいるでしょう。
That's not true.
そうなの？だったら私がほっときません。
I'd rather go on a Christmas date with you than do anything else in the world, Fubuki-chan.
ユキさんラボー。ふぶきちゃんはまゆりちゃん一筋じゃなかったの？まゆしーだって楓ちゃんだって大好きだぜ。
Katsumi quickly jumped over to Kaede and gave her a big hug. Kaede was soft and smiled good, and enduring this sort of sexual harassment was nothing new to her. Okay.
あ、それでね、ユキさん。今度、まゆしーに美味しいキッシュの作り方を教えてくれないかな。
Ooh, I love a quiche. They're delicious. Quiches are great. Quiche, a traditional French dish made by filling a pie crust with cream, cheese, eggs, meat, and vegetables, then cooking it to a flaky golden brown. Yuki was an excellent chef and had been teaching Mayuri a lot lately. Both Katsumi and Kaede would also occasionally participate in what they called Amane Yuki's cooking lessons. Sure, what kind of quiche?
マユシーはほうれん草とマッシュルームがいいな。
Oh, that's an excellent combination.
ハムとトマトとベーコンも美味しいよ。はあ、想像しただけでよだれが。わあ、そっか、迷っちゃうのです。
Okay, then I'll teach you how to make both.
本当？
Ooh, we're gonna have a cooking
そうだよ
class.
ね。いろんな味があった方がみんなも喜ぶもんね。
Is this for the Christmas party?
そうなのです。あと1ヶ月もないけど、それまでにマスターしたいなって。
Then we'll have to train extra hard. When do you want to do it? Tomorrow?
マユシーは大丈夫。
Katsumi went over her schedule in her head.
あー、明日か。私、友達と約束が。私はバイト。
Katsumi really wanted to go, so she was pretty disappointed. She would have loved the chance to eat one of Yuki's good quiches. As she thought about the quiche, her stomach began to rumble. It was about time for dinner. Yuki and Mayuri worked out the time and place for their meetup. The place I'm staying is a little far from here,
ラボ
so
はどうかな。
yeah, that's fine.
頑張って作り方覚えるぞ。
I hope it's a fun party. Alright.
マユシ、サンタさんの衣装を作るからみんな着てくれる？
Well, you're even making more outfits than the one we need for Komima? You're really excited
マ
about
ユシ
this.
はやる気満々だよ。ふむ。
Oh, that is the cutest sound. Mayuri poses like she was cheering.
サンタ服なら可愛いミニスカートのやつがいいな。白のニートに赤いブーツとか合わせて。楓ちゃんはいいけど、私そういうの似合うかな。
Katsumi spoke to Mayuri and Yuki without any confidence in her voice. You guys are cosplayers. I know you like the cute outfits best. There was nothing Katsumi could say. She was right. It bothered Katsumi a lot, but she looked like a boy. And she knew that sort of clothing didn't look right on her. Wait, hold on. Is this the combinations, like the love lines in this novel? That Katsumi would like... I don't know. He reminds me of Ruka. I can get Yuki's voice back? No, please teach me. Please tell me how I can get Yuki's voice back. No, you're not meddling at all. How do I? How can I get her voice back? From options, maybe it's clickable. Okay. So back to config. That's how I get it back. Oh. I see. So something about Shinakagari isn't letting us getting her voice back. Right? Thank you for that, Maki. Now you guys don't have to listen to foreigner Yuki. It's perfect. And she knew that sort of clothing didn't look right on her. So I wonder if, like, this is just a love line. Mayuri is gonna remain Mayuri. And then Yuki, obviously, is with Daru. And then there's, I don't know what Luca is gonna be like. I'm curious. Is this like an ultimate game now? What is this? Still, at heart, she was a young girl and she wanted to wear cute clothes. I think she would connect really well with Luca.
まゆし、ふぶきちゃんに似合うのちゃんと作るから。
Maki, I probably just accidentally clicked on it at one point when I was setting up sounds, so probably was my fault.
おお、さすが俺の嫁。結婚して。ふぶきちゃん、調子いいんだから。ダルくんみたいなこと言っちゃダメだよ。あの変態紳士さんと一緒にされるなんてショックかも。
It does hurt. It does hurt.
ちなみにまゆりちゃんも一緒に着るんだよね、サンタさんの衣装。
Voice is back. Excellent.
じゃなくて可愛いんだからもっとコスしようよ。でもまゆしは作るの専門だから。意義あり。そんなのもったいないです。もうふぶきちゃんまで。
Yes, they are. They are indeed, Maki.
それに
I would love to see Mayuri cosplaying. I think she would be adorable.
岡部さんもまゆりちゃんの素敵な姿見たいんじゃないかな。
Yeah, I don't... The relationship between Mayuri and Okarin is like very... I don't think complicated is the right word, but it is complex. Mayuri made a weird noise as soon as she heard that name.
オカリンさん？ああ、マユシーの彼氏ね。
But he's not, though. Katsumi had met him many times. He was tall but always looked pale and thin, and whenever he laughed, he seemed kind of sad. From what Mayuri said, until just half a year ago, he'd been a totally different person. He said he was haughty and arrogant, but also kind and a great leader. Mayuri was known to let her emotions influence her judgment, so Katsumi didn't know how much of that description was accurate. What a sound. Mayuri started to freak out even more after hearing the word boyfriend.
あのね、ふぶきちゃん。オカリンとマユシーはそういうのじゃないよ。またまた。
No one believed her. I mean, I guess, you know, for a girl to say I'm someone's hostage, it is kind of... Yeah, Yuki and Kaede weren't buying it either. Honestly, Okari and Mayuri seemed more like an old wedded couple that had been together for years than boyfriend and girlfriend.
本当だよ。だってオカリンには他に好きな人がいるのです。
クリス。He's obsessed with a 2D girl. For real, for real. Mayuri sounded totally unconcerned, which made Katsumi even more surprised.
そうなの？ 本当に？
Who could have guessed? It was Yuki, the eldest, who spoke first.
ごめんね。なんか余計なこと言っちゃった。マユシーとオカリンは幼なじみで仲良しさんっていうだけだから大丈夫だよ。そう。
Mayuri's smile seemed very sad to Katsumi. She felt the sudden impulse to give her schoolmate a hug.
それより。
Mayuri smiled and walked over to Yuki as if to blow away the awkwardness.
ねえ、ユキさんは？私？さっきの話、やっぱりクリスマスは彼氏さんと過ごすのかなって。本当にいないってば。そう？みんな誤解してるよ。私そんなにモテないし、ここだけの話、年齢と彼氏いない歴が一緒だもの。
I feel like we're walking straight into a josikai. It's... First Mayuri, then Yuki, Katsumi was stunned.
そうなんですか？そこまで驚かれるなんて。じゃあ、ユキさん、
Mayuri started to fidget.
ダルくんなんてどうかな？
No!
星田さん？また何を言い出すの、マユシ。星田さんは変態紳士なんだよ。ユキさんがどこかにかけられちゃう。
The man that Katsumi and Kaede were insulting was Hasita Itaru, a college student and a member of Mayuri's club. He was a hardcore otaku, one of the hybrid types, who said he enjoyed both 2- and 3-dimensional girls. And like Katsumi had said, he was a perverted gentleman. He would say perverse things all day without the slightest shame. Whenever you told him he was a pervert, he would say, "No, I'm a perverted gentleman." He was a dangerous guy. But Yuki didn't seem bothered. She actually looked a little sad.
橋田さんはいい人だけど、なんていうか、私みたいな子、あんまり好きじゃないんだと思う。
Mayuri was shocked far above and beyond her usual limit. She was so surprised, she let go of her suitcase's handle and let it fall to the ground. And instead of picking it up, he looks like a giant badger. Yeah, I like the old Daru art better. I don't know, maybe it grew on me and I need to let this one grow on me too. But like this Daru I don't know. The other Daru felt cuddly, right? Like he looked like a giant cuddly bear, but this one I'm not so sure. And instead of picking it up, she started talking frantically. そんなことないよ。ダルくんはね、ユキさんに萌えキューンだよ。きっとそうだよ。マユシーが保証します。夏コミまで初めて会った時もそんな感じだったでしょ。Yuki had met Mayuri 4 months ago at summer komima. Katsumi and Kaede had come wearing outfits Mayuri made. Kaede found Yuki at the convention hall, all by herself, and they met up. See? Much more cuddlier. Afterward, they had all gone to a party where she had met Mayuri's friend, Hasta Itaru. Katsumi had definitely witnessed Yuki and Itaru having a friendly conversation. Ever since then, Yuki and Mayuri and Daru had become friends, and Yuki had started going to Mayuri's club, the Future Gadget Laboratory. In other words, Yuki and Itaru had been talking ever since summer Komima. But still, Yuki chuckled sadly and shook her head.
見てればわかるよ。なんとなく避けられてるなって。クリスマスパーティーも、だから私は行かない方がいいんじゃないかなって思って。
Oh, there's definitely stories behind this. What is going on between you two?
橋田さんはもっとこう妹系の女の子がタイプじゃないのかな。しかもものすごく気が強くてね、お兄ちゃんを尻に敷いちゃうような妹。
And that's why he likes Ferris. That is like Ferris's archetype.
例えば鈴葉さんみたいな感じ？
I don't know.
それは。
For some reason, Mayuri looked like she was about to cry. She seemed to want to say something, but couldn't bring herself to. Her lips were quivering.
まゆりちゃん？なんでもないのです。
But it certainly didn't look like nothing. Katsumi couldn't bear to watch her anymore, so she gave in to her impulses.
まゆし、そんな顔しないで。まゆしは笑ってる時が一番可愛いんだから。ね、ほらほら、笑わないとくすぐっちゃうぞ。こちょこちょこちょこちょこちょ。
Aww. Katsumi snuck behind Mayuri and started to take her under her arms. I know, but we'll get through it. 'Mayuri was laughing so hard she was crying, and this time, Katsumi succeeded in giving her a hug. Even though they were in public, she started rubbing her cheek against hers.
まゆし、好きだよ。大好き。
Okay, Fubuki is like a bit much. Hi Tommy, how are you? Happy Friday.
このまま家に持って帰ってずっとペロペロしたい。
Okay, Fubuki is weird. Confirm.
それは困るよ。困ってもいいから結婚してくれ。無理だってば。
Mayuri tried to run away, but Fubuki grabbed her and started to kiss her all over. Okay. It's not that kind of game,
なんか
guys.
疲れた。それはまゆしのセリフだよ。
In the end, Katsumi kept clinging to Mayuri until they reached the station. She felt a lot better, but catching Mayuri when she tried to escape used up a lot of energy. Either way, now that she was satisfied, Fubuki has memories of that too? She shuddered and turned back towards Mayuri as an image came into her mind from out of nowhere.
ねえ、まゆし。ん？なーに？冬コミマ、一緒にコスしようね。この前話したよ。冬コミマはね、まゆしは作る方に専念します。それでもいいからさ、とにかく冬コミマもこの4人で絶対一緒に参加しようね。当たり前だよ。そのために今日みんなで買い物したんだよ。
The background music is like fake calls.
だよね。でも約束だよ。うん、約束。
Mayuri and Yuki split up with them in front of the station since they were taking a different train.
それじゃあね。おやすみなさい、まゆりちゃん、ゆきさん。またね。てってれー。バイバーイ。
Katsumi stood still and watched the two of them until they were out of sight. She felt like she was about to cry and looked up to stop the tears from falling. Who are you? Is she also a time traveler? Kaede was standing next to her, looking worried.
どうしたの？ごめん、なんでもない。なんでもなくないよ。もしかしてまゆりちゃんがどうかしたの？お願い、話して。
Even after Kaede asked, Katsumi wasn't sure she should tell her. There was no way she'd believe it anyway.
今日の吹雪ちゃん、いつもよりテンション高かった。すごく無理してる感じがしたもの。気づいてたんだ。気づくよ。
Katsumi and Kaede had known each other for 2 years. Since their ages were so different, they treated each other like an older and younger sister. So at a time like this, Kaede was really sharp. Kaede didn't talk much, but that meant she paid a lot of attention to the people around her. Part of it was also that Katsumi wasn't good at hiding things. She just couldn't lie to Kaede no matter what. She gave up and decided to say it.
まゆしがね。うん。死んじゃうんだ。
She is definitely a time... How? Who? Where? Who? What?
え？何？どういうこと？
Katsumi remembered the nightmares and the things she kept seeing no matter how much she didn't want to.
夢を見るんだよ。夢？
Okay, so she is kind of similar to how Mayuri towards the end.
夏ぐらいからかな。毎日夢の中でまゆしが死んで、その度に私や楓ちゃんは泣いて。でもどうすることもできなくて。夕べ見た夢なんか最悪だった。私たちの目の前で突然まゆしが倒れて動かなくなっちゃうの。そのまゆしをね、おかりんさんが悲鳴を上げながら抱きしめて大きな声で叫んでて。 ったんだろう私。なんでこんな夢ばっかり。
So she's having reading Steiner. I wasn't muted. I never plugged in my PC, so I was trying to plug it in just now. But we're okay now. It was like a warning popped up and it was like, you're down to 5% battery. I'm like, oh gosh.
落ち着いて、ふぶきちゃん。多分疲れてるせいよ。
Okay. So, at the end of the last game, the true ending told us that everyone has the power to essentially reading Steiner, right? And why is it? What are the requirements for it to activate, and why does it only manifest in some people and not everybody? I guess it's sort of the question that I have now.
そうかな。そうなのかな。だってまゆりちゃん、今日もすごく元気だったでしょ。
Kaede gave Katsumi a gentle shoulder hug.
だから大丈夫。私、やだよ。まゆしが死んだりしたら。そんなことありえないわ。絶対に。絶対に。絶対よ。うん。
It's just a hunch and it's not reasonable, but I don't know how I feel about Kaede. Kaede's words made Katsumi calm down a little. She was glad to have an older friend like this.
とにかく気のせいよ。そんな悪いこと起きるはずがないでしょ。
Her hand squeezed Katsumi's shoulder tightly. Being held like this made Katsumi feel a lot better.
ごめんね。変なこと言って。
But that night, she had the nightmares again. Suzuha. Amane Suzuha was about to run out of patience. Oh, okay, so the writing is very different in Steins Gate Zero, or the style of writing is very different in Zero versus the OG, it seems. The cause was the young man in a room with her father. Yeah, it switches viewpoint. Hashitai Daru, aka Daru, his massively obese body was leaning forward over a computer monitor, and he had a dopey grin on his face. He'd finally gotten up around 11 a.m., gulped down 3 cups of instant ramen, and now was surfing the internet. And you can see his shoulder blades? I don't know about that. At least the voice actor is the same.
なんですとリア充メッセピーとパルテノン氏って夫婦だったん何それ聞いてねえし
Parthenon? Alright, what are we talking about? Normie's Must Die P. A Vocalo producer so popular 2 of his videos have exceeded 1 million views. Normie's Must Die P is especially well known for the unique worldview he presents with his lyrics. As his name suggests, many of his songs criticize normies as well as himself for not having any friends. Because of this, his songs serve as a source of emotional support for viewers that have found themselves in similar dire straits. Parthenon, a female freelance illustrator, she primarily does illustrations for vocal songs on Nikonia. Nikonium video and is popular mostly with young women.
そうか、リア充メッセーとか名乗ってる本人がリア充じゃん。リアルに嫁いるとか汚い、汚すぎる。ぐぬぬぬぬ、ぼっちの味方だと思ってたのに。こんなん戦争だろう。炎上必至だろう。うおと思ったら、もうアットちゃんもツイポも炎上してた件について。
Twippo? Like Twitter? Let's see. Twippo, the name of a microblogging application. The posts, known as tweets, are all limited to 140 full-width characters, such as Japanese characters, or 280 half-width characters, such as English characters. Following a user on Twippo will cause that user's tweets to appear in your timeline, and users can send private messages as well.
僕としたことが出遅れた。これまでの流れをちゃんとチェックしないと。
父さん。
Oh boy.
はい。
That's what Suzuha called her father. For it's who he was, after all, so there was nothing else to call him. Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036, and 7 years from now, he would become her father.
いい加減にしなよ。一日中ゴロゴロして食べるかネットを見るかゲームをしてるかばっかり。即席麺やお菓子ばかり食べてると体に病変を生じるって警告しても治そうともしない。
In fact, his PC desk was covered with snacks. She cleaned it regularly, but it never seemed to make a difference.
運動だってしろって言ってるのに全然しない。
Suzuha realized she was complaining more than usual, but she had to say it anyway.
そんなんじゃ将来。
And then she realized that Itaru wasn't even listening to her. His eyes were fixed on the computer monitor. He had moved his mouse out of the sight, but she could still hear him clicking it.
話を聞きなさい。
Suzuha approached her father from behind and put the hairspray can she'd been hiding up to his neck. Itaru seemed to think that it was a gun. He stuck his hands up. Threats like this worked. They worked because she told him that she'd survived World War III and the wars and chaos of 2036, and that she was ready to draw a gun and pull the trigger whenever she needed to.
すずは、やめてくんないと父さん怒っちゃう。
怒られるのは父さんの方。
はい、すみません。でもさ、僕の秘密の仕事知ってるっしょ？あれが結構忙しいんだよ。僕ぐらいのハッカーになると引く手あまたでさ。食事も適当に済まさざるを得ないっつうか。海外のクライアント相手だと時差もあって昼夜逆転しちゃうっつうか。
未来の父さんもそんなことばっかり言って母さんに叱られてた。
I can't wait to see that.
100歩譲って睡眠周期は仕方ないとしても、これ以上健康を損ねるような食事は許容範囲外。即刻中止すること。いい？
だけど仕事もそうだけどタイムマシンの研究が大変なんだ。癒しが欲しいんだよね僕。
そうやって言い訳してすぐだらけようとする。甘えてるよ父さん。
Suzuha was always amazed that her dad managed to survive the future's wars. But since the time machine research would affect the future, and eventually Suzuha's very presence here, she couldn't tell him to stop. Even after Okabe Rintaro stopped coming to the Future Gadgets lab, Itaru had kept working on the time machine all by himself. Suzuha never said a word about it. If she did, it might create a time paradox.
タイムマシンを作るのに未来から来たタイムマシンを精査しちゃダメだからね。
She decided to warn him again.
わかってるよ、そんなこと。でも時々自信なくなるんだよね。僕、本当にタイムマシンなんて作るん？
当然だよ。しっかりして。
はい。
Suzuha took the hairspray can off his neck.
てっきり銃だと思ったら、なんというはったり。父さんを騙すなんてひどいよ。
You're very easily tricked, boy.
次は本物使うからね。
それマジ勘弁。
Suzuha put the can of hairspray back on the shelf. It was something Okabe Rintaro had left here when he had lived in the lab. It was still here, since his owner never came back for it.
漫画とかゲームだとさ、父親を叱る娘ってのはもっとこう燃えるんだけどな。鈴葉、ちょっとさ、もうダメだよパパって言ってみてくんない？できれば甘やかすような口調で。
Holy crap, no. Daru, stop.
なんでもないでござる。
Her dad shrank from Suzuha's glare. Don't do it. Don't do it, girl. Suzuha sighed loudly and dropped herself on the sofa. She leaned back against a headrest and stared at the ceiling, then closed her eyes.
どうしたん？
なんでも。
隠しても無駄なのだぜ。鈴葉のなんでもないってのは話を聞いてほしいって意味っしょ。
え？
ほら、話してみるといいよ。
Daru sounded very serious. Suzuha's eyes went wide for a moment, but then she realized.
そのセリフ、この前プレイしてたギャルゲーにあったよね。
え？
それでフラグが成立するんだっけ？
Alright, flag. A metafiction term refers to common methods of foreshadowing particular events. For example, a blank flag means that sometime in the near future blank will happen. Death flags and romance flags are the most frequent. She'd been living here for 3 months. She was starting to learn a little about Akihabara's culture, circa 2010.
父さん、間違っても私を落とそうとか思わないでよね。
ねえよ、実の娘にそんなことしないって。
本当かな？未来の父さんはちょっと怪しかった。私が思春期になってからもよく一緒にお風呂入ろうって誘われたな。
What the fuck? Oh my god.
何それ怖い。
That is terrifying.
私は軍属だったし、父さんはタイムマシンの開発に追われてたからいつも一緒にいられるわけじゃなかったけど、とにかくベタベタしてきたよ。鬱陶しいくらいにね。
Her dad looked honestly depressed, and she realized that she had gone too far.
父さんはさ、いつも私に言ってくれてたよ。ここは最低最悪の世界線だけど、私が誕生したことだけは最高だって。私、未来の父さんを失望させたくないんだ。だから、絶対にオカリンおじさんを説得しなきゃ。
大丈夫。失望したりしないって、絶対に。
そうかな。
うん。
けどね、おじさんはどうしても話を聞いてくれないよ。このままじゃおじさんは過去へ行かない。マキセ・クリスを救出しない。シュタインズゲートにも到達しない。
Steins Gate. That was the name of the mysterious world line her dad had told her about in 2036, where World War III might not occur. Leading Okabe Rintaro to that world line was her mission. But right now, it wasn't going well. Suzuha had come to 2010, and just like the mission had called for, she had succeeded in sending Okabe Rintaro to July 28th. But then he failed, and he wasn't going to try again. Every time they met, she had tried to convince him, but who knew if her words were having any effect?
結局、第三次世界大戦に世界線は収束して、大勢の人たちが殺戮される。それを変えるために私は来たのに、何もできない運命なのかな。
Suzuha had something else she had to do here in Akihabara in December 2010. In December 2010, does that have something to do with the winter komima? Besides convincing Okabe Rintaro, it meant she was running around every day. The exhaustion was starting to take its toll on her. During the war, she'd been able to keep herself sharp at all times, and this level of exhaustion wouldn't have meant anything. The relaxed atmosphere of 2010 was actually making her realize how tired she was. She was feeling very sleepy right now, actually. She was surprised at how willing she was to fall asleep in such an undefended position, but she didn't think that she could beat the temptation. And then suddenly she felt something extremely cold on the back of her neck. She snapped awake in an instant. Her movements after that were lightning quick. She jumped up and slid behind the massive body in front of her, which obviously belonged to Itaru, then grabbed his arm and twisted it as she dropped it to the floor. She went to draw the gun at her hip, and her hand swiped through empty air. And then she came back to reality. Her gun was hidden. She wasn't carrying it. This wasn't 2036.
いてててててて
Two cans of Dr. P clattered on the floor. That must have been what he put on her neck.
何するの、父さん。
さっきのお返しだお。
ぼーっとしてたから危うく殺しちゃうとこだったよ。そういう訓練受けてきたんだから、シャレじゃ済まないんだって。
わかったから話してくださり。言いたいでござるの巻。
まったくもう。
Suzuha let her father go. Itaru rubbed his arm and stood up, then grabbed the cans of Dr. P off the floor. He offered one to Suzuha.
つうかさ、諦めんの早すぎだろ。もうちょっと頑張ってみるのだぜ。多分オカリンは疲れて眠ってるだけだから、今みたいに冷たい毒ペでも首筋に当ててやれば飛び起きるんじゃね？なんせほら、あのオカリンだし。
That's maniacal. This expression of Daru. She realized her dad was trying to cheer her up and nodded. Then she heard footsteps coming up the stairs and some slightly off-key humming. Is it Mayuri? Their eyes met. Just a sound was enough to tell them who it was. Yuki?
隠れろ、鈴葉。
オキドキ。
Suzuha moved fast, maybe even faster than when she had knocked her father on the ground. She quickly and silently jumped behind a curtain and separated the lab's development room from the rest of it. Just as she hid beneath the desk, there was a knock on the door.
こんにちは。
Suzuha knew that voice, of course. It was her mom. She could tell from the noises he was making that her dad was panicking. There was another knock.
まゆりちゃん。
あ、はいはい、今出る。
Itaru went to open the door. Suzuha took a deep breath and concentrated her mind. She remembered the time she had spent 3 days and 3 nights on a battlefield with no food and nothing to drink, constantly aiming her rifle at the target. She erased any trace of her presence that could give her away. Her breathing started to become shallow. Dad, don't screw this up, okay?
天音氏、今日はまゆしと待ち合わせ？
Itaru came back to the room with the girl.
はい。お料理の特訓をすることになっているんですけど。
She could hear plastic bags rustling. She must have brought the ingredients.
まゆし、来てないんだよね。
そうですか。ちょっと来るの早かったかな。
Amane Yuki. Just the name Amane suggested. She was Suzuha's mother in the future. In other words, the two of them in the other room were supposed to get married.
まあ、約束があるなら、そのうち来るんじゃないかな。
Or is it the eyes? I need to look at Suzuha again.
待っていてもいいですか？
もちろん。ここで料理もするんでしょ。
はい。橋田さんもぜひ味見してくださいね。
まゆしのはあんまり食べたくないよ。
大丈夫ですよ。まゆりちゃんすごく上達してるんですから。
へえ。
Itaru was clearly nervous. As far as Suzuha knew, the only girl he acted that way around was Amane Yuki. Suzuha and Mayuri were practically family, and he got along fine with big sis Rumi, Fairy's Nyan Nyan, who worked at a maid cafe next door. So it wasn't that he didn't know how to act around girls, but for some reason, he always acted different when she was around. She told him that Yuki would be his wife someday. It was too late to do anything about it now, but maybe that was a mistake, she thought.
今日は妹さんはお留守ですか？
え、あ、うん。
そうですか。
Hashida Itaru's sister was none other than Suzuha herself. Around the same time Suzuha had started spending all her time in the lab, Yuki had become friends with Mayuri and Itaru and began visiting more frequently, which meant that avoiding her was almost impossible, and so she was forced to tell Yuki that she was Itaru's little sister. But still, she wanted to keep contact to a minimum in order to keep Yuki from finding out somehow. That was why she was hiding.
そうそう。どうですこの服。この前買ったんですけど。
Yuki showed no signs of noticing Suzuha. She was twirling around in the center of the room as if she was at the fashion show. Yuki was a cosplayer and wanted as many people as possible to see her dressed up. Mayuri had told Suzuha that once before. In fact, Yuki and Mayuri spent a lot of time complimenting each other's outfits.
いいよ、すごくいい。
本当ですか？
うわー、天使来たこれって感じ。
ありがとうございます。橋田さんもおしゃれしましょうよ。ちょっとだけ痩せれば結構素敵だと思うな。
はははは。
私本気ですよ。
おう。
Hashida Iharu and Amane Yuki. As she listened to their awkward conversation, Suzuha remembered the last time she had said goodbye to her dad. 2036. Daru in the future.
父さん、治安部隊が万世橋まで来てる。
ということは、ここが発見されるのも時間の問題かな。あらかじめ流しておいた偽の情報も効果なかったか。
That's so weird. That is so weird. He doesn't have the speech pattern anymore. And he doesn't have like the enunciation pattern either. It's just the same voice, but talking normally. Daru, what happened to you?
急ごう。
I mean, yes, a world war could change a lot of things and can change a lot of people, but my god.
開けるぞ。
すごい。こんなところに扉があったなんて。これなら誰にも見つからないね。
This looked like the roof of Radican, doesn't it? Interesting.
さあ、中へ。
ここって。
Wait, who's that? That can't be Nye, can it? The room was almost totally empty. The cover from the top to the bottom. Wow, okay, hold on. The room was almost totally empty and covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Not only were there no windows, there wasn't even a door to the hallway. The building they were in was once a symbol of old Akihabara, before it was almost entirely destroyed by an air raid during the last days of World War III. Only a few people knew about the secret room inside it. The biggest reason was its secret: the silhouette of what looked like a satellite sitting in the corner.
これタイムマシンだよね。これがタイムマシン。
Red hair. It could be a new character, but at the same time, we saw a Sheena something before, right? Could be her. Mayuri's daughter?
危ないからあんまり近づくな。
Kagari. Sheena Kagari. Suzuha spoke to the little girl clutching Mayuri's hand. Most of the children in this era had skin inflammations somewhere on their body from all the radioactive rain, but she didn't. Her name was Sheena Kagari. Her registration form said she was 10 years old, but no one knew if it was true. She was an orphan who lost her parents in the Tokyo air raids when she was a baby, and nobody knew her birthday. The name Kagari had been given to her by Mayuri, who was working at the Child Welfare Center and had taken her in. That's a perfect job for Mayuri. She took it from the word kagaribi, which meant bonfire, in hope that she could be a light even in these dark days. It had been 4 years since Mayuri had adopted her, but her name on the registration form had become Sheena Kagari. All right. Maybe we can fix it now that she is on? Yeah, there we go.
そうね。
Suzuha motioned for the Shinas to step back and put her right hand and right eye up to the time machine's sensor. The biometrics check cleared and the hatch slid open. Oh, not this one. Tips. Mansei-bashi Bridge, one of the bridges that cross over Kanda River located on the south side of Akihabara, also known as the Mansei Bridge. The original Mansei-bashi Bridge was built in a different spot, but it was called the Yorozuyobashi Bridge. When a new bridge, the new Mansei-bashi Bridge, was built in the Mansei-bashi Bridge's current location, the old bridge became known as the Old Mansei-bashi until it was taken down altogether in 1906. The arch-shaped bridge was last reconstructed in 1930 following the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923. Biometrics, the use of fingerprints, voice recognition, vein iris scanning, etc. instead of a password. She went inside and fastened herself into the seat.
これほど長時間の有人ジャンプは初めてだが、技術的には全く問題ない。これまでのテストジャンプ通りやればいいからな。
Of course, Daru would be in slippers.
Okie dokie.
Suzuha began to flip switches, working her way through the startup procedure. She practiced it hundreds of times in preparation for this day. The faint rumble from the machine began to get louder.
データによれば、昔のラジカンはちょうどこの場所が屋上になってる。ただし、高さが1メートルほどずれてるからな。着地するときに衝撃があると思う。
了解。
The time machine could move through time, but not space. To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she needed to launch from right here.
トラブルが起きても冷静にな。トレーニングを思い出せばいい。
大丈夫だよ。私は父さんのマシンを信じてるから。
Her words must have meant a lot to him, because he stuck out his lip towards her. He squished them back with her hand.
気持ち悪い。
悲しいな。鈴葉は父さんが嫌いかい。
It's like even after he lost his speech pattern, his mannerisms are still very the same. I kind of like it.
下心があるみたいだから。
いくらなんでも娘相手に下心なんてねえよ。
最近母さんに似てきたハスハスとか言ってたのはどこの誰？
No. Her mother wasn't here. She'd become a victim of the war, brutally killed by the peacekeeping squads.
冗談を真に受けないでくれたまえ。
なんだ、冗談だったの？
Suzuha's voice sounded kind of disappointed. She set a destination for August 13th, 1975. Her first mission was there.
これでよし。それじゃあ父さん、マユ姉さん。
She was about to say her goodbyes, but then... Oh no. Suzuha drew her gun from her holster. She was about to get out of the time machine, but her dad stopped her.
ダメだ。さっさと飛べ。
でも父さんたちが。
俺たちのことはいい。早く行け、鈴葉。
そんな、だって。
もよし、係ちゃんを。このマシンにはもう一人乗れる。
So where did Kagari go then? Mayuri and Suzuha's father picked up the stunned Kagari and stuffed her into the time machine.
すずちゃん、係をお願い。わかった。
If Suzuha's mission succeeded, the world line would be rebuilt, and it was likely that the present Kagari would cease to exist. It might have been pointless to send her. But even so, a mother wants her child to live. That's how Suzuha's mom was too.
Mama.
Oh. Kagari finally seemed to understand what was going on. She called out to her mom.
やだよ。大丈夫だよ、係ちゃん。すずちゃんが一緒だからね。ダメ、ママも一緒じゃなきゃダメ。過去へ行けば昔のママがいるよ。今よりずーっと若くて、係ちゃんびっくりするだろうな。
Mayuri handed Kagari a tiny keychain. It looked old. It may have been a brightly colored green once, but now it was completely faded.
ママがずっと大切にしてきたウーパのキーホルダーだよ。係ちゃんにあげる。大事にしてね。
Oh, I keep clicking config by accident. Okay. Upa, a mascot character from the anime Raine Kakeru, a dog-like virtual pet with an egg-shaped cylindrical body and short, stubby arms and legs, comes in many different colors. It is incapable of human speech, but it can communicate by saying Upa or Upa. It's adorable. Kagari, Kagari, Kagari. I wonder what her story is. Does she disappear after one of the mission, like Suzuha's first mission is successful? Once it was pressed firmly to Kagari's hand, she stepped back. Mayuri was smiling but weeping at the same time.
いや、行きたくない。ママと一緒にいる。ママ、ダメ。係、おとなしくしてなさい。
Kagari fell silent immediately. Even Suzuha had never heard Mayuri use that tone of voice. That's how harshly she scolded her daughter. Oh, this is a fancy one. Kagari was quietly weeping, unmoving.
閉めるぞ。
This time, the hatch really did begin to close. The inside of the machine and the outside of it. Have a good night's sleep, Hurt. Sleep well. The inside of the machine and the outside of it, the two worlds, were about to be completely cut off from one another. Whether Suzuha's mission was successful or not, she would probably never see any of them again.
すずちゃん、本当に係をお願いね。あと、オカリンに伝えて。スタインズゲートは必ずあるって。
絶対に諦めるな、大バカ野郎。ってな。
オキドキ。
And then the door was sealed shut, and Mayuri and Itaru's voices disappeared along the chaos outside.
父
They
さん、
probably died.
大好き。
Oh. She whispered towards the door, now sealed shut.
行くよ、かがり。かっこええ。
She booted up the time machine.
橋田さん、掃除機はどこ？
Suzuha snapped back to reality. Yuki was getting closer to the development room she was hiding in.
そのカーテンの危な！
この奥？
ああ、僕が持ってくるよ。
Itaru motioned for her to stop, then quickly slid into the... As he reached down to pick the vacuum off the floor, his gaze locked with Suzuha's as she hid under the desk.
バレないようにしてよ、父さん。
オキドキ。
ありましたか、掃除機。
あ、うん。
Evidently, Yuki was trying to be nice by cleaning up. The place was pretty messy right now. Knowing Yuki's personality, Suzuha could imagine she wanted to clean it. Itaru grabbed what looked like a vacuum cleaner off the floor. Oh no. It's gotta be one of the future gadgets, isn't it? And left the development room.
何ですか、それ。
未来ガジェット5号機。
Alright. Tell me more. Once again. Future Gadget number 5, short for Once Again I Made Something Worthless by Goemon. Created by combining a dryer and a vacuum, the dryer is operated using the exhaust of the vacuum. Its name is a reference to the popular anime, Lupin's the Third.
分解すれば普通の掃除機として使えるはず。
お掃除するための掃除機なのに、分解したらかえって散らかすことになりません？橋田さんって頭がいいのに時々うっかりなことしますよね。
That's such a nice way to say it. Instead of like, you're an idiot.
そうかな。
でもそういう人の方が私好きだな。
Girl.
なんだと？
Itaru started to panic again. Have a good night, Hurt. Itaru started to panic again and Suzuha sighed.
ただ生活については見直した方がいいと思うんです。お部屋の掃除はできれば毎日した方がいいですよ。ここ特にホコリっぽいですし。それだけじゃありません。食事のこともそうです。今日もカップ麺だったんでしょ？
なんで知ってるん？
お台所に食べ残したまま放置されてます。
なるほど。
それにお菓子もこんなにたくさん。食べ過ぎだっていつも言ってるのに。
Daru just needs another mom, it seems.
一応気をつけてはいるのだぜ。うん。
一応じゃダメです。あんまりカップ麺やお菓子ばかり食べてると病気になっちゃいますよ。あと少しは運動すること。
Amane Yuki it was saying the exact same thing that Suzuha had just said. Perhaps they really were mother and child. Suzuha was just beginning to feel a little homesick when she sensed another visitor approaching. Mayuri! The door to the lab opened, and a greeting she'd heard many times before resounded throughout the room.
ごめんねゆきさん、ちょっと遅れちゃった。
It was Mayuri coming to see Yuki, but there was another presence here too.
まゆりちゃん、こんにちは。岡部さんも一緒だったんですね。
Okarin!
お、オカリン、
He
久
is
し
in
ぶり
all
じゃん。
black now. It's so weird.
ああ、久しぶり。
And it's so weird to see him on the screen too. When she heard his voice, Suzuha ground her teeth a little. Ah, now it's...
興味深いわね。
Alright, Okarin's perspective. Let's go. What's up, Kurise?
なんだって？
聞こえなかった？興味深いと言ったの？
まさか行きたいとか言い出すんじゃないだろうな。
ぜひお願い。
話すべきじゃなかったな。
To go where? Oh, to the lab? I was standing in the middle of Ikebukuro with a smartphone in one hand, staring up at the sky. Interesting. So only Okabe gets first person speech. Everyone else is still third person. I've been trying to talk to Amadeus Kurisu as much as possible lately. Sometimes I would contact her, and sometimes Kurisu would contact me. It didn't feel any different than having a friend who lived in the real world. Talking on a smartphone in a crowded place like this was a little embarrassing, but I told myself that compared to the things I used to do, it was nothing. I'd chosen harmless topics for our discussion, but it still reminded me so much of talking to the old Kurisu that I sometimes forgot myself. I'd done that just now, when I accidentally told her about the lab. She had seized on it.
あんたが今話したそのラボ、オリジナルの私は行ったことが？
ああ、いや。
はっきりしないわね。どっち？
ないよ。
Kurisu had been part of the lab in the Alpha World Line. In this world line, she died before ever becoming a lab member. Of course, she'd never even known where it was.
お前は勘違いしているようだから言っておく。ラボと言ってもラボじゃない。ただのお遊びサークルだ。それに
Suzuha was living there right now, and Daru spent a lot of time there. If they found out about Kurisu, things could get complicated.
言いかけてやめないでほしいわけだが。
なんでもない。
いずれにせよ、外の世界をいろいろ見て回ってみたい。今までは先輩や教授と話す時も研究室の中ばかりだったから。
だからこうして日曜の朝っぱらから池袋を案内してやっているだろう。
10 a.m. Even at this hour, the area in front of Ikebukuro Station was crowded. It was going to get even more crowded as it gets closer to noon.
なんなら乙女ロードまで連れて行く覚悟はしていたんだけどな。
何よそれ。
お前の知らない世界が広がっている場所だな。
待って、今調べた。
So she has access to the whole internet. That's incredible.
本当に興味が湧いたか？
そんなわけあるか。とにかく今日はあんたのラボに連れて行ってよ。私に話して聞かせた以上、責任を取りなさい。よろしくね。
And then she hung up. It was like I was her own personal taxi service. Kurisu couldn't move around on her own, so there was no getting around that, but...
まったく。わがままなやつめ。
She didn't seem to think very highly of me. At this rate, she might start treating me worse than a servant. The real Kurisu was one thing, or no, maybe it wasn't. But being treated that way by the artificial Kurisu was incredibly humiliating. Shouldn't it be a humiliation for all of humanity?
これはなんとかすべきかもしれん。
As I mumbled to myself.
あれ、オカリン
Mayuri called out to me. She was carrying a lot of bags. It was probably materials for one of her costumes.
ねえねえ、今誰かと話してなかった？
今のは大学のゼミの友達だ。
そっか。今日も遊びに行くの？
いや、今日は別に予定はない。まゆりはこれからバイトか？
ラボでユキさんと待ち合わせ。
ラボ。
Was this good timing or bad
そう
timing?
だ。オカリンも久しぶりに一緒に行かない？ユキさんの手料理も食べられるよ。それとね、マユシーも頑張って作る予定なのです。どうかな？
In the end, I went with her.
えへへ。
Mayuri.
ずいぶん嬉しそうだな。
She just wants to spend time with you. That's all she wanted.
嬉しいよ。
Mayuri had been smiling the whole time, but I was the opposite. The minute I got here, I was so nervous, I felt like I was about to throw up. I didn't really want to see Suzuha.
あ、おう、岡部じゃねえか。
お、
Oh, he has the same art. Yeah, his art didn't change. The door to Braun Tube Workshop on the first floor opened, and out came the building's owner, Tenozi Yugo. Braun Tube Workshop. A CRT TV shop located on the first floor of the multi-purpose Ohiyama building on Suehirocho. Tenozi Yugo, the owner of the store, also owns Ohiyama building. Located at the very back of the store is a very rare 42-inch CRT TV. The store only gets a few customers a day, but strangely enough, it's been one of the few stores that survived over the years in a constantly changing landscape of Akihabara.
店長さん、てってる
おう、
うわー、T シャツ1枚で寒くないですか？
Jack Hummer.
鍛えてるからな。
When I'd been living in the lab, I'd given him the nickname Mr. Braun. It'd been a long time since I'd seen him.
岡部、その様子じゃちゃんと大学生やってるみたいじゃねえか。
どうも。そういえば家賃ってどうしてるんだっけ？
I asked Mayuri instead of him. I used to give it directly to Tenozi, but
橋田がちゃんと振り込んでくれてるから安心しな。
そうですか。
that is surprisingly responsible of Daru.
おう。
This man. Was he a rounder in his world line too? There was only one way I could ask him. Alright, what's with our phone? Tell me. How did things go with Kurisu after that? No problems. I see. Anything you can tell me, no matter how small, will be a help. That she's interested in Otome Road, maybe? What's that? A place where a whole world you know nothing about exists. Wait, I'll look it up. Bad idea. The darkness is very deep. If there's anything that seems off, I'll let you know. Would you? I know it's a lot of trouble. Counting on you. It's kind of cute. I couldn't help but be wary of him. That's why I started to put some distance between us. If nothing else, I'd avoid trying to interact with him.
じゃあね、あんま暴るんなよ。
Tenoji saw that I'd gone silent and went back inside. Mayuri looked over at me with a worried expression.
大丈夫？やっぱり帰る？
行こう。
Tenoji didn't matter. What mattered was, why was I here? Did I feel like something needed to change? Or did I really want to show Kurisu to the lab? I went up the stairs, still unsure of the answer.
てってれー。
Mayuri went in
ごめんね
first.
ゆきさん。ちょっと遅れちゃった。まゆりちゃん、こんにちは。
I peeked inside the room. Daru and Yuki were there. The music is so unnerving. What is going on? Their eyes went wide when they saw me.
岡部さんも一緒だったんですね。
お、オカリン、久しぶりじゃん。
ああ、久しぶり。
I quickly scanned the room. There was no sign of Suzuha. Part of me was a little relieved.
入っても。
What? Why? Why would you ask that?
自分のラボで遠慮とかねえよ。
Yeah.
それもそうか。さすがにこの状況でクリスを呼び出すことはできなさそうだな。
I followed Mayuri to the lab and tried to relax my legs by sitting on the couch, but I didn't feel relaxed at all. It felt like my skin was crawling. I glanced over at Yuki.
ゆきさん、そのお洋服かわいい。まゆりちゃんにそう言ってほしくて着てきたんだよ。いいなあ。まゆしも着てみたいのです。後でお洋服取り替えっこしてみる？サイズ合うかな？
I had heard about Yuki's future from Suzuha's too. Alright, we gotta pick this up. Amadeus! Yes.
なんだ。
There she is.
そろそろラボに着いた頃かと思って。
I ran into the development room in the back, clutching my smartphone.
お前結
But
構暇な
Suzuha
ん
is
だな。
here.
どうして声を潜める？もしかして私のことをお友達には知られたくないとか？
当たり前だろ。
I hadn't even checked with Maho and Dr. Leskinen to see if it was okay to tell other people about Amadeus.
まあいいわ。状況はなんとなく理解した。
Kurisu lowered her voice as well.
少しでいいから部屋の中を見せて。カメラを掲げてくれるだけでいい。
まったく。
I sighed and held the smartphone up to my chest. I spun around once, like I was taking a video with my camera.
汚すぎ。
最初の感想がそれか。
あ、ごめん、言い直す。ガラクタだらけね。
That wasn't much better. Well, it was true.
研究室というのはどこも雑然となるものだけど、それにしてもこれはひどい。真帆先輩の下宿先といい勝負ね。
そういう個人のプライバシーを暴露してもいいのか？
あんたからも先輩に言っておいて、部屋はちゃんと片付けた方がいいって。
そんなこと言ったら噛みつかれそうだ。
That is actually something Maho would do.
まあ、でも。
Kurisu paused and smiled.
こういうルームシェアみたいなの少し憧れてた。人が集まってるところを見ると居心地はいいんでしょうね。
クリス。
Yeah, Kurisu. In the Alpha War line, you said the same thing. She's awfully lonely.
お前は本当は？
おじさん、誰と話してるの？
Suzuha. I suddenly heard a girl's voice coming from under the desk and was so surprised I screamed.
誰だ？
黙って。
Oh, she doesn't have Yuki's eyes. I think she has Daru's eyes, but Yuki's hair.
え？お前鈴葉？
Was she hiding? But why? Daru, Mayuri, and Yuki heard me scream and ran over to see what the problem was.
オカリ、どうしたの？あれ、そこにいるの、鈴葉さん？あっちゃー。
Suzuha looked upset. It was only then I realized who she was hiding from.
次のニュースです。明和党の駒沢康和衆議院議員が企業から不正献金を受けていた問題で、駒沢議員は今日10時から記者会見し、議員辞職する意向を表明しました。
Meiwa Party. That's a political party, wasn't it? Meiwa Party, one of the two major political parties in Japan. 5 years ago, the Meiwa Party was an opposition party, and that changed following a major breakthrough in a general election that year. Its catchphrase is a brighter peace for the people, as the two kanji used in its name, me and wa, mean bright and peace, respectively. Someone had left the TV on, and it was playing the afternoon news. Komazawa Yasukazu resigned from the parliament. Suzuha knew no one was watching it, but she used a remote to turn the volume up anyway. She wanted to keep the girls in the shower room from hearing us. I could hear Mayuri and Yuki laughing from the shower. Things had gotten really awkward when Yuki had found Suzuha, but Mayuri quickly came up with a plan. At first, her plan was for the three of them, including Suzuha, to shower naked together and hopefully get Yuki and Suzuha more comfortable around each other. What? But Suzuha said that the shower room was too small for 3 people and refused.
参ったな。
Suzuha was staring up at the ceiling.
鈴葉のせいじゃないよ。オカリンが悪いんだ。
ダルが事前に教えてくれなかったからだろ。
教えるタイミングなんてなかったじゃん。つうかオカリンさ、スマホ片手にブツブツ喋ってたけど、何してたん？
それはその
Maybe I need a shower together counter for this visual novel. How many shower scenes are we gonna have? Oh my god. Oh, my shoulder popped. I mean, we could add one. We could add one. So far there's only one, right? We could add one. And it's always girls showering to count together. I'll add one off stream. Oh my god. Because I'm very particular about font sizes and stuff like that, so it'll be a while. But I'll set it up before the next one. All right, shower together counter. Why? Oh my god, is this how the game does fan service here in Zero? Count them in my notes. We'll add a shower counter. And I feel like, I don't know, I haven't been taking like super good notes, mainly because nothing really has happened. But the humor is more cringe than the first game. The humor in the first game is pretty cringe already. Oh my, am I gonna survive?
誰かと話してたよね。
そういうアプリがあって試しに使ってみたんだ。
おお、ギャルゲっぽいやつ。オカリもそういうのやるようになったのか。
No, Daru, we're different people. Stop.
そういうことなら後で僕のおすすめアプリ教えるお。
I guess I managed to fool them around Amadeus.
何にせよ、私がうかつだったよ。おじさん、さっきは驚かせてごめん。
そもそも彼女から隠れる必要があるのか？すでにダルの妹で通っているんだからコソコソする方が逆に怪しまれるだろう。
Yes, very sus. Suza had tried to avoid Yuki to begin with. Just meeting her father was enough to potentially cause a time paradox, she said, and that chance went up even more if she met her mother. But Yuki had found her before long, and Suzuha had been forced to say she was Daru's little sister. Yuki believed it, but why make things any more complicated?
そうなんだけど、母さんが思った以上に私と仲良くなりたがるんだ。あまり会話しすぎるとボロが出かねない。
自分とよく似てる人間が現れたら嫌悪するか興味を示すかのどちらかだろうな。
And Amane Yuki was the latter.
嫌われた方がずっと楽だよ。
いっそ事実を打ち明けるわけにもいかないか。
Right now, only a few people knew that Suzuha was a time traveler. Me, Daru, Mayuri, and Ferris. That was all.
つうか、このまま何も説明しなくていいんじゃね？
I mean, that is fair.
天音氏はなんつうか秘密とか無理に聞きたがるような人じゃないと思うんだよね。鈴葉ならよくわかってるんじゃないか。
確かに未来の母さんはそんな人じゃなかったけど。
じゃあ大丈夫だって。いずれ時が来たら僕からちゃんと説明しとくよ。
本当？
ああ。
わかった。父さんに任せる。
Suzuha nodded.
で今後は天音氏を露骨に避けるのやめるっつうことで。
うまくやれるかどうか自信ない。
大丈夫だって。
お前が言うなって話だけどな。さっきだって相変わらず苦手意識出しまくってたじゃないかお前。
僕のことは今はどうでもいいっしょ。
And then the conversation came to a halt, which meant we started thinking about the voices coming from the shower room. Oh dear. Are we gonna... I'm trying to think if I want to go to the shower room scene, or do we start with the shower room scene next time? Let's start with the shower room scene next time. All right. We're 2 hours in. I know just who I want to raid. We're gonna raid Wild. He's playing Tears of the Kingdom. And he's super chill. So if you guys want to watch some Zelda, you can come with me for a ride. As always, let me save really quick before I forget. I'm gonna save over this. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And we will continue this on Monday evening. I may or may not be doing a Mayuri end special that Monday morning. Just to, experience that ending in the original Steins Gate. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, we'll be continuing Steins Gate 0 on Monday evening, and then otherwise, tomorrow we'll be playing Citizen Sleeper. It's going to be more reading time, and it's going to be fun. So, thank you all, as always, for stopping by. And I hope you have a wonderful time until the next time we meet. All right? Take care, and I'll see you then. Bye.